What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Eddie here. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded on YouTube, which is kind of like always been the case, but I really wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys. You guys have been following me for a while, especially if you're coming here from Instagram and you've been following me from the beginning. So I wanted to do something different though, and just be real with you guys and be honest about this whole bodybuilding thing, this process of life and all of that good stuff. So this is gonna be more of a prep diary kind of deal. I'm probably gonna name it that, Prep Diaries or something like that. Prep Diary Entry 1 or something like that, This is more or less for me to document, this journey going into this season at 2.5 weeks out right now and just how I'm feeling and kind of take you guys through not just the workouts, but, everything that's going on and accompanying the whole bodybuilding thing. But this has been an interesting prep for me so far. It's been the best prep so far, I guess you could say, as far as the way my body's responding, as far as my body's responding to the variables, the food, the training, the cardio, pretty much everything. Everything is in check. I'm only eating things that I digest well, and I've had struggles with that in the past, trying to figure out my digestion, and I've been running into a lot of hurdles trying to do that. So this time around, everything is in check, everything is great, and the body's responding, perfectly. So I'm really just, to be honest, happy to even, be at this point of stepping on stage here in about 2.5 weeks. It's gonna be the best physique that I ever brought to the stage. But that's really not the point of this. Not so long ago, I wanted to walk away from bodybuilding, to be completely transparent with you guys, and that's not something that I've shared publicly yet, but I mean, I really didn't want to keep doing this. It was just wearing on me to a point where it was ruining things outside of bodybuilding. Sorry about that. It was ruining things outside of bodybuilding, and I just felt like this sport didn't play a role in my life anymore like it used to. I didn't wake up excited to go to the gym. I wasn't excited to eat the meals. I remember vividly a day like I woke up and I was like, I'm just done. Like, it was in the off season and I was like, I'm just done. I don't see the benefit of this anymore. I don't see the benefit of killing myself every day in the gym, force feeding myself 7,000 calories a day, trying to put on as much size as possible, starving myself in prep. And I'm like, just really for what, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm very, very grateful for the life that I've been able to build using bodybuilding, but I've always seen bodybuilding as a vehicle, right? It was never the destination. It was a vehicle on the journey. There's so many other things I want to do outside of bodybuilding that define who I am as well. And I felt like I've been putting all of those things aside for the sake of being the best bodybuilder that I can be. Not to say that that's wrong, not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I'm blessed to be in the position to be able to do that, blessed to have the physique and the genetics, the work ethic, the determination, all of these intangible things to even have that option. Right, but after last season, as you guys know, first show of the season was great. Came in absolutely peeled inside out. Top 5 finish, I got 4th. And then the next show, we kind of just dropped the ball, something serious. I mean, it was, that last show last year was probably the worst look that I've ever brought to a stage at any level ever. It was terrible. It was terrible, and we're not going to go into the details about it because it's gone and past now, but that really just kind of made me think about a lot of things, and going into that off season, I just, not even just because of the placing at the show, but I really had no motivation to continue to want to compete, right? I love bodybuilding. I started in bodybuilding because I love the gym, because I love what it does for me as a person. I've been training since I was 8 years old, as you guys know. So that aspect of me hadn't changed, but I felt like I had fallen out of love with training. I had fallen out of love with the gym. I had fallen out of love with doing the things that brought me joy in bodybuilding. And as you know, with any sport or any endeavor, once you start to lose that passion and that joy, you can't really give it your best. But one thing I will say that I was able to do was, even in that dark place, and believe me, it was a dark place, even outside of bodybuilding, things were kind of shaky a little bit, but I was still able to be like, you know what? Let's just focus on enjoying the gym. Let's just focus on enjoying training, because that's what it is. That's why I started this. I started this because I love training. I started this because I love working out, getting bigger, building muscle, seeing the changes in my body. Our bodies are the one thing that we have complete control over, right? So I wanted to find that again. I wanted to find that love for the gym, and it took me a long time. It really took me a very long time to do it, and I will say that, you guys played a huge part in the reason why I kept going, because I would go to the gym every day. I would open my Instagram every day, and I would see the messages from you guys. I would see how much I inspired other people to be better themselves in their own life. And I was like, look, if I don't have the motivation to keep going, then I can at least use the energy from others to keep going for their sakes, and I use that. I use the positivity from others to uplift myself, to be like, hey, every day I come in here and these people see me giving 100%, they are becoming better as a result of my presence. They are trying harder in their own lives. They're studying harder. They're trying to be better at work. They're trying to be better fathers, better mothers, better brothers, better positive influence themselves. They're trying to go after their goals because they see me doing the same thing. And I really, really leaned into that. So I want to stress to you guys more than anything that you guys are really the reason that I kept going, because I had none. I had nothing left in my tank for bodybuilding at all. And I don't need to compete to be successful in the fitness industry. And we know this already. I compete to win. I compete to be competitive. I compete because I enjoy stepping on stage and going against the next man. But as far as financially, as far as building a home, as far as other opportunities outside of bodybuilding, I don't need to compete for that. I don't. I could step away from bodybuilding today, and I would still be with Evogen, right? I would still be running my coaching business. If anything, it'll probably give me time to do other things that I want to do. But over time, again, the love for training started to come back. And it was a hard road. It really, really was. Once I felt the love for training coming back, then everything else became more habitual. Okay, I want to get bigger. How big can I get this off season? How strong can I get this off season? Competing still wasn't even on my mind. It didn't matter to me when I was getting on stage. I could care less. I was just obsessed with getting better physically, getting better mentally, and getting better emotionally, and trying to find myself again outside of the stage. Because I feel like when you get to a certain level, to even get to that certain level, you almost have to identify yourself with that thing to a point to be able to give what's necessary to be successful in whatever field that is. You have to almost identify yourself with the grind, with the meals, with the training, with the competing, with all of the adversity that comes with that. Like, that becomes who you are, right? So in that, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think that that can actually help you, and it can drive you, and it can make you better. I think that when you're initially starting on to anything new, you use whatever you can to motivate yourself to move forward. And if that motivation is being the very best, then you use it. And even if it's an unhealthy motivation, like, you use it. Use that energy, use that inner power to propel yourself forward. And they talk about balance. I'm here to tell you, yeah, balance is great, but there are points in life when balance has to go out the window. I have a family, and I try to be as present for them as I can be, but when we're sitting at 2.5 weeks out from a show, yes, I'm still present. That's no excuse for me not to be the best father and the best partner that I can be. But I have to start reeling it back a little bit, and just understanding that what's about to occur is by nature going to pull me back from these other responsibilities just a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's my choice. At the end of the day, this is what started me on a path to be able to provide for the people that I love. So it makes sense. Everyone understands it. It is what it is. But, emotionally, it does take its toll. And after last season, emotionally, I was spent. I remember waking up literally first thing in the morning one day in the off season, and I laid in bed and I cried because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get up and force feed myself 7 meals. I didn't want to go to the gym and squat 600 pounds. I didn't want to have to do this damn posing. I didn't want to have to put on the mask and smile like I was happy every single day for people who don't even know me. Like, I was so far beyond it. And every single day it was just a slow drip, a slow drip, a slow drip, a slow drip. I started prep not even excited. Like I started prep not wanting to get on stage. Again, I was doing this for you guys, right? And I knew that if I could just lean into the energy and the people around me, that I could get this thing going and I could get through it. But it was hell for a long time, and I will freely admit I really wasn't excited about competing until probably 6 weeks ago. Honestly, I'm 2.5 weeks out right now. I didn't feel that dog energy come back out till about 6 weeks ago at 8 weeks out. When I started really seeing the changes in the body happening quickly, I was like, oh crap, like this is real. Like, this is real. This season's getting going. This is real now. The changes are happening. My physique looks incredible. I had a great off season. Just being able to be consistent in the off season, even though emotionally I was a wreck, I was still able to be consistent, and do the things. I had developed such an incredible physique and hadn't even seen it up to that point. I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror. I didn't care what I looked like. As long as I felt good in the gym, as long as my numbers were going up, I was great. And then one day it just clicked and I opened my eyes and I was like, holy crap, I look insane. So now I feel that dog mentality again. I feel that will to win. I feel like how I used to feel in those first few years of competing in the league, that rabid dog that wants to just chomping at the bit to get on stage, to get up there and to fight against these other guys, to best these other people, to get up there and show my art, right? Because my physique is art. It's I'm not even gonna get into all that right now, but I'll let you guys see it on stage in 2.5 weeks. But at this point now, I'm excited and I'm happy that I stuck it out, because the opportunities that are arising now have been nothing short of tremendous. I just filmed a series of videos with Muscle and Strength on Monday, and today's what? Wednesday. So just, a few days ago, the first video is going to be releasing soon. So you guys are going to see that on the Muscle and Strength channel and on my channel and all the other content, that we filmed. But the point is, I'm excited. I'm excited again. I have the energy again, and I want this thing, and it feels good because I haven't wanted it like this for a while. It feels good because I wake up every day excited to get after it. It feels good because I'm looking at myself, seeing the changes, seeing the differences, and I'm like, that's it. That's the look, right? And now it's perfecting it. It's peaking correctly. Peaking is the hardest thing to do in this sport, and I can honestly say that I have not peaked correctly, not a single time, with the top 5 finishes and the seconds and the thirds and the fourths and the fifths. This physique is something different, and I'm excited to be able to present this in 2.5 weeks, right? We have a whole season lined up, so I'm just excited. I'm really, really, really excited to see where this thing goes. Win or lose, I literally gave everything I had. I gave when I had nothing to give. I sacrificed when I wanted nothing else but to walk away and to quit. I've never wanted to walk away from something so bad in my entire life. But I stuck it out because of the support from you guys, because of the support from my family, and because I said I was going to do it. And independent of how I may feel, if I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do it. Who knows what next year holds? I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about bringing everything I possibly can this year, not only in bodybuilding, but in life as well. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I appreciate you guys for having my back, because like I said, without you, I wouldn't be here. And I want you guys to understand the role that you play in not only my life, but in the life of these other bodybuilders, in the lives of these other successful people. A lot of us feed off you guys' energy. A lot of us are inspired by what you guys do and your accomplishments just as much as you're inspired by us, you know. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to you guys for sticking by my side and for keeping me going, you know. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. This is going to be an amazing year. And, you know, Prep Diary #1 wrapped up. I'll see you guys again for the next video.